last few days, we have been doing extensive planning across government departments and with our international partners to take advantage of any improvement in the situation and begin the evacuation of British nationals in Sudan. I'm very pleased that a ceasefire has been announced by the leadership of the factions on the ground, and therefore we are initiating an evacuation plan. It is important to remember that ceasefires have been announced and have fallen apart in the past, so the situation remains dangerous, volatile and unpredictable. I've spoken either directly or through intermediaries with the leaders of the factions on the ground, calling for them to allow British nationals, dual nationals and minors to be evacuated, and we will continue to push for the maintenance of this ceasefire. Of course, it is impossible for us to predict how long this opportunity will last, and we're calling people forward in priority order based on their vulnerability.
We've heard a lot in the past couple of days about how dangerous the situation in Sudan is. How are people going to get to this airfield safely?
Well, the truth is that we cannot predict how the situation on the ground will develop. The conflict has, as I say, been unpredictable, it's been volatile. We have said that we are unable to provide escorts from where British nationals are to the airhead. They will have to make their own way there, as indeed has been the case for the nationals of other countries. We will maintain this airhead for as long as we can, but the situation does remain, as I say, dangerous and volatile.
That sounds like it's going to be still risky for people to make their way to the airport. Do you accept that, and how quickly do you want to get this done as a result?
Well, we are working as quickly as possible. Obviously, the UK is not the only country seeking to evacuate its nationals, and we are doing this evacuation in close coordination with our international partners. This is an active conflict. The ceasefire has been announced, but we know that there have been pockets of violence in the past, even within previous ceasefires. So this does remain dangerous, this does remain difficult. We are providing what assistance that we can, and we are operating as quickly as we can.
We saw what happened in Afghanistan, where there was a rush on Kabul airport. How worried are you that that could happen again, and do you have plans in place to prevent that?
Well, this situation is fundamentally different to the situation in Afghanistan. We have established contact with a number of British nationals, and we are talking where we can directly with them, although we recognise our ability to maintain consistent communications is difficult because of the conflict. We are prioritising calling forward the most vulnerable, the young, the old, those who are unwell or who are injured, and we will make contact with them directly. As I say, we want to maintain this ceasefire as long as possible. We want to maximise the number of British nationals that we help, but this does remain an unpredictable and dangerous circumstance.
A lot of people will be wondering this morning why you didn't do this sooner. Other countries have been taking people out of Sudan a lot earlier than the UK. Have you waited too long?
Well, the circumstances for each individual nation are different. There are considerably more British nationals in Sudan than other countries have got. We've been working closely with our international partners, and we have facilitated the evacuation of a number of British nationals already. We will continue to work with our international partners. We will continue to push for a maintenance of this ceasefire with the generals commanding the troops in Sudan, and I will continue my direct engagement with them to make sure that the British nationals who need to be evacuated are facilitated to the airhead and ultimately out of Sudan.
And finally, how confident are you that all the Brits who want to get out of Sudan will get out? Are you looking at other options, for example, in Port Sudan?
We have always maintained a range of options for evacuation. It is impossible to predict how long the ceasefire will last. It's impossible to predict how long any other route to evacuation will remain open. We will continue to push the leadership in Sudan to maintain this ceasefire, to facilitate the evacuation of British nationals. That is something we will do both directly and with our international partners. But at this stage, it's not possible for us to predict with any certainty at all the circumstances on the ground in Sudan.